Hello and welcome to another Short Takes episode from Baltimore Racial Justice Action. Again, I am Anthony here with Michelle and Julia, and we are excited to give you a piece of what is happening in the news, in the mainstream, and for us to give our short take on it. Now, last week, Juneteenth became a federal holiday, and it has created quite a buzz. We've had politicians on both sides of the aisle say and do problematic things regarding Juneteenth. We've had employers try to figure out and grapple with who is getting off and should they honor the holiday for employees. We have brands making big statements about their solidarity for the holiday. And so we thought out of all of the things that have been expressed, all the problematic, all the ridiculous things that have been expressed in support of Juneteenth, that we should give our take and find the one that was the most ridiculous, off base, or problematic and dissect it a little bit. So, again, excited to have Julia, Michelle, and myself doing this. So, I'm going to pass it over to you first, Michelle. What is maybe the most ridiculous or problematic thing you've seen for Juneteenth this year?
Thank you, Anthony. I think we're going to have to talk about Nancy Pelosi and crew. A few months back, we saw them kneeling in kente cloth, and we thought that was as bad as it could get. But no, they've topped that one now with the passage of making Juneteenth a national holiday. Nancy Pelosi and crew decided to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. If you have not seen the clip, I suggest you do so. Well, depending on your threshold, your pain threshold. If you have not seen the clip, those of you who have seen the clip, it was, yes, I would say painful would be the word. I mean, this is a song that means a lot to, Black people here in this country. It was written in 1900 by James Weldon Johnson. It is the Black national anthem, and for Black people, we hold that song in a certain sacred place, and not everybody can sing that song. So, listening to them sing, very loudly and off key, hurt my soul a little bit. And I just wish they had not done that.
And off key.
Very off key.
Yeah, they tried.
What about you, Julia?
There were so many wonderful things. I know that a lot of people were really excited about Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. But the way that people try to kind of like get in on it, try to like censor whiteness, that was the biggest concern for me. And so I'm going to take you to a wonderful land called Twitter, where this wonderful person named Maria Popova, I don't know how to pronounce Miss Ma'am's name, but she's in charge of a website called brainpicker.com. And, it sounds lovely. I've actually followed them for a minute, but I unfollowed when she tweeted out on Juneteenth at 8:01 a.m. that Abraham Lincoln, who laid the foundation for Juneteenth with the Emancipation Proclamation and paid for his courage dearly with his life, in fact, on how to handle criticism. So Miss Brainpicker kind of puts out articles about people from the past and how they kind of help you with today's issues. But, while I am sure Abraham Lincoln had some beautiful words about how to handle criticism, I wouldn't exactly, put him in the realm of laying the foundation for Juneteenth. I was like, he laid the foundation with the emancipation. Like, did we all skip history? Like, did we not read the same book? And also just like this centering of whiteness was just really just so between myself and scores of other Black Twitter folk, we're just like, delete this, like now, ASAP, forever. Just stop, pause, go someplace else, take a break. Like, I did not understand the censoring of white people in Juneteenth, and not about the Black people, and not about how it's about us, and not about some politician who allegedly would lay some foundation. It was just wild, and I think that it just pops up all the time how we can never have things for ourselves. We gotta always be inclusive, and that is something that I feel like this federal holiday has really brought out, and that we should talk a little bit more about. But I was just like, girl, let's stop it. Let's pause. Let's take a breath. Let's reevaluate. Who can help you handle something else and not now. So it was just it was a mess.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm gonna go with the problematic statements that corporations have given out that nobody asked for
Right.
Juneteenth. And so there were so many, and Julia shared the one with us with the San Jose Sharks, and it had like the chains, and the shark was breaking through the chains. Gushers made a statement for Juneteenth. Nobody is asking for Gushers' stance on Juneteenth. Nobody's asking for this. But my favorite was ABC. They had a special. I didn't watch the special, but it was titled Juneteenth, Together We Triumph, a Soul of a Nation special event. And so for me, like you're saying, Julia, this togetherness that nobody is asking for, the inserting of white people of themselves in this to make it seem like this was something that was done collaboratively, inclusively, and not even done in the way in talking about white abolitionists that were fighting for enslaved people. It was just like, hey, one day we all decided that, maybe there's a better way to do this, and it just kind of happened. And now we can all celebrate this together. And so it really puts me in I'm also thinking about television, and I noticed that like FX and places were trying to just like put Black shows on because it was Juneteenth, but they don't even know how to do what to do with programming and stuff. But like we have a statement about it, and so it really reminds me of our short take episode before about the symbolism instead of the substance. And people throwing the symbols out. And so I guess now is the crosstalk time. What I'm thinking about is, and what I shared with my friends earlier this week is, I don't want Juneteenth to have the burden that like Halloween does for indigenous people. When people do problematic things and stuff, people have talked about it and compared it to like Cinco de Mayo for Mexican people. We had talked about before here, how are we able to claim and hold on to like the meat, the root of what Juneteenth is, and not let white people water it down and draw it away from the attention of where it needs to be.
Right. No, I definitely hear you, Anthony. And I think that I will say this. I think that my social media feed this weekend was beautiful. I saw people, setting up altars to ancestors. I saw people going to Black-owned restaurants, right? So I hope that what I was seeing on my feed continues, that it continues to be this thing where Black people are saying, we are going to honor our ancestors. We are going to be with Black people. We're going to support Black-owned businesses. It has to come from us, right? White America is going to do what white America always does. They always center themselves, like Julia was saying, and they always try to find a way to make money off of it. We can expect white America to do that. But I think for me, I just want to focus on what other Black people want to do, right? Like, where can we find joy? Where can we be together? And let's focus on that and shut out the noise, because white America is going to do white America.
Right. I think that like there's so many things that come up for me, because I will never forget when I was growing up, my dad would always talk about MLK Day and how MLK Day was for Black people. And then it became this federal, and granted, there was a fight to have it be federally recognized for as a holiday. And like, while like, yeah, so there's some beauty in that, I'm sure, especially then, but my dad was always like, that never sat right with him. And I never really understood it, I think, until Juneteenth became a federal holiday. And that day wasn't for everybody. The day was for us. And so I think, and here's the other part, it's like, not every Black person actually celebrates Juneteenth. It's like, so I think it's really about a day of not just remembrance, but also about learning. This is a regional holiday for a very particular place in Texas. That should not be taken away from them, and how they have continued to push about this holiday and celebrate it, and to educate people. It's not about everybody. It's not about Abraham Lincoln or any other white person that decided to tweet something. It's not about the corporations. It's about acknowledging this country's sins, but also that like Black people have been able to continue and to celebrate and to love each other no matter what. And so I hope that continues, like you were saying, Michelle. Like, I hope that we continue to celebrate and educate ourselves about the histories that we don't know, about the people that we don't know. But also, like, I mean, granted, this was ridiculous, but like, I love the fact that Black people will find a way to joke no matter what. It's like, so
Yes.
Black people kind of making up their own like tweets about like what corporations were gonna say,
Yes.
for Juneteenth. Is that like even in the most ridiculous or sometimes the most serious times, that spirit I think of Black joy is always
Yes.
there. So it's like
Yeah.
when we're sad, we're sad together, we mourn together, but we also are able to get a few jokes off, because I mean that's also I think a part of our ability to continue and to push forward. So I hope that I
Yes.
see more of that in the future. But I could do without corporations being like, here at M&M, we also believe in freedom. Like I don't need
Right.
the yellow and the red M&M teaching me about Juneteenth. I'm good.
Right.
Just keep doing your dopey commercials, and I will still buy your candy. Like, leave me alone. So yeah, I think that that's also just like really, really important to remember.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and in summary, I think for me, I appreciate what both of you have brought up in the power of the collective. That even though the collective may not be the ones that are influencing or have the power of the statements that are being made or how it is symbolism and there's not actually work being put behind it, that we as a collective are able to see through the BS and
Yeah.
see when that is not right and be able to laugh at it and move forward and do what it is that we need to do.
Yeah.
And then I'd also say, in summary, as homework and as a plug, is that even though Juneteenth has passed, it's not too late to still do your learning on it.
Yeah.
That is for
Mm-hmm.
everyone. I'm saying, especially for white people that do not know what the holiday is and carrying it out wrong. For Black folks, for non-Black people of color, you can find us at bemoreantiracist.org and at Baltimore Racial Justice Action on YouTube. Um, on those pages, we have a Juneteenth event from last year, and it talks about the origin of it, the history, the ways that it has been celebrated. So would encourage you to check that out. Again, Baltimore Racial Justice on YouTube. Our website is Be More Anti-Racist. And we thank you all again for being with us today for a short take, and we will see you all next time.